Hi, I'm Juana Valentina Torres, and this is my presentation for my English class. The topic of this presentation is how is the punishment in Colombia for animal abuse and all kind of treatments and punishments that we have here in Colombia. So the first topic that we are going to talk about in this presentation is like animal abuse in general here in Colombia. So animal abuse is considered like a big social problem that hasn't been given so much importance that it should be or it should deserve. Even though that there has been more than 2,000 victims animals of abandonment and abuse annually here in Colombia. There are like a lot of ways of animal abuse. You know, it can start from not feeding the animal correctly or not giving it the optimal hygienic sanitary conditions until the physical or psychological punishment for the animal. So it is very important to consider that it is not just physically, it is also like psychologic and like the maybe if this animal has like a kind of a fear of its owner, it can also be considered like an animal abuse. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. And okay, that's it. So usually the animal abuse is not that easy to see. It is not that evident. So the reason of this is almost all the time this kind of crime is committed like inside of a house, like in a property. So it's very difficult to know and to see that there is like someone is committing this crime. So that's also very important to consider. The next topic that we're going to talk about here in this presentation is how often are these crimes seen in Colombia. And unfortunately, here in Colombia, it's very common to see like this kind of crimes on the street and everywhere. So in Colombia, it's very common that people think that animals are just like things walking on the street and that they don't deserve any kind of respect or well treatment. But even though nowadays it's almost common to see this kind of crimes, it used to be worse before the 21st century. Because nowadays, if you see, there are like a lot of people that really take care of its animals and they treat them like they were those like they were their kids and their like sons and something like that. So it is very difficult to explain what kind of feelings that we have for or animals. But yeah, nowadays is like it's not that common, but also it's common, so uh, so talking about the before the 21st century, there was like a time here in Colombia where you were walking on the street and you could see like a lot of horses on the street, and these horses were used to be used for recycling collection. And like some of its owners um like actually take care of them because they knew that these animals were like helping them to make money and try to survive, so they really take care of them. But there were like another ones that they didn't have enough money to take care of the horses, the animals. So you could see like very skinny horses on the street, and it was like very horrible, so there were another owners that they just didn't care, didn't like take care of the animals at all. Even though they had like the enough money to take care of them, they just hurt them and just just hit them. And that was like awful because you were walking on the street and you could also see like a lot of hurt horses, and it was like painful to see, so um even there was a time where also there were like a lot of videos that had appeared in the social media, and like everyone that really take care of the animals that saw these kind of videos, they didn't they didn't take it well, because they started to make like protests and those all kind of yeah, protests. And years later, some politics created like a law that said that these kind of horses couldn't be used anymore for this kind of works. So, and months later, there was no horses in the street, like fortunately. And this was like a very important like time here in Colombia, because it was getting like worse and worse for the horses, and that's the third topic that we are going to talk about here in this presentation is campaigns created for animals. In Colombia has been created like a new campaign of animal abuse, and it's called Escuadrón Anti-Crueldad. This program has been like the first one created here in Colombia and also in Latin America. And this program like has revolutionized the way of helping animals of the city. Like its primary function is to take care of the animals that had suffered like any kind of animal cruelty. And this campaign says that there are like six kind of forms of animal cruelty. They are like abandonment, neglect, overexploitation, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and also emotional abuse. So, as you can see, and as I said before, it's not just physical abuse; it's also like psychological abuse. So and emotional. So it's very important to see that this crew and this team is very focused and everything about the animal, even like his their little minds and everything. So it is very nice to see this kind of projects here in Colombia. So this campaign has like a team. This team is made up by veterinarians, technical super staff, and also lawyers. These lawyers have been like prepared for any kind of animal abuse and any kind of animal terms and everything about like just animals. And as I said before, this is amazing to see here in Colombia because it was also very difficult to see like this kind of campaigns and people trying to help animals. So this is very important here in Colombia, and that's it. So the last topic that we're going to talk about here in this presentation, and the last topic that we're going to talk about here in this presentation is another solution that has been brought to Colombia, or maybe we could say like another like legal solution that has been brought here to Colombia and stop these abuses. So in this topic, we are going to talk about this law that has been created, is the 1774 law. This law establishes that harmful or cruel acts against animals that do not cause death, but like seriously affect their health or physical integrity will be sanctioned with fines of 5 to 50 monthly legal minimum wage enforced. So if you ask me like my opinion, I think these laws related with animals are like the best ones because for me animals are so innocent and for me they don't deserve like any kind of abuse or I don't know harm things. So I think I totally agree with this kind of laws. So yeah, the next thing that we're going to talk about is like there's like another law that is stronger than this one. It's not like a law, it's like a sanction, like it's stronger than this one because it's more related with close death to this animal, even though if this animal is a pet or a wild animal or even an exotic one, it's like it's stronger, because these kind of abuses will have like a penalty of imprisonment between 12 to 36 months, and also it has like an special disability from 1 to 3 years to be able to exercise like a profession or possession like related with animals. So this part of law like has like a also like a stronger fine because the last one was between like 5 to 50 months, uh, uh, 5 to 50 monthly legal minimum wage. So in this part of this law is between 10 to 60 monthly legal minimum wage. So this is like a stronger one, and a stronger one, as I said, because this one is more related like with close death to this animal. So for me, this is amazing because the imprisonment also caused like a lot of fear to people. So this caused, as I said before, uh, this imprisonment things and sanction things brings people like fear and they don't hurt more animals. So for me this is amazing, and I think that's it, and this is my presentation for my English class. I hope that you enjoy it, and thanks for your attention, and see ya.